So this is the third video lecture on socialization. The last one we were talking about theories. This one I want to pick up more of the same, but really emphasize like why it's important and perhaps get into some of the groups that are significant to us. So sort of this is a little bit repetitive because we were talking about it before, but socialization is fundamental to our role or to our existence as people because in essence, like we are nothing if we are not in relationship to other people. So what I mean is like my identity as a daughter is determined by my relationship with my mother. So my mother is where my parents are what make it possible for me to be a daughter, right? And socialization is the same thing. Like the only reason I can be a teacher is because you're a student. The only reason that I can be an employee is because I work with this other group. And socialization is really the process. It is how we become that. It's how we become, it's how we internalize what that means, what the role of daughter, what the role of employee means. And it is the fundamental process of how we preserve and perpetuate, that's what it says, how we perpetuate our culture. It's by passing these rules and these behaviors on from one group of people to another group of people. When we start a new job, we become socialized into the workplace culture. We learn about, are people on time here? What do they wear? Do they share food, right? We learn about, are they optimistic or pessimistic in this place? And when we are successfully socialized, and maybe that's where I should have started, when we are successfully socialized, when we have internalized the rules that are important to the group, we will be successful in that place. So you probably know people that they just kind of don't seem to get it. They act really weird. That's not how we act here. Though that would be sort of an example of somebody who has not internalized or not learned or simply refused to follow the rules of the group, right? So in that sense, we learn about, well, actually it's not really on here. I was going to say we learn about material and non-material culture. But I would argue that if you think about the people that you know and you think about maybe the weirdos are the people that don't seem to conform to the rules of the group. Now, I'm not suggesting it's bad to be a weirdo. Actually, I think it's great to be a weirdo because yes, that's not what I'm suggesting. But the point is that's what we mean by socialization. And okay, so it's also the process where we learn about material and non-material culture. And you'll remember back from the last chapter, material is your stuff, non-material is your way of being. Oh, here's an example. So I'm taking this welding class, right? And well, I'm taking this welding class and all the words are new to me. I don't understand any of it. Like it sounds like a foreign language. And so what I am learning right now is I am learning about the material culture of that occupation. I'm learning about what the words mean, and then I will eventually learn about what the stuff is called and how do I use the stuff, right? I'm learning about a culture, which is the culture of welding. Language development, this should probably be at the top of the list. The way that we learn in our culture is with words, with written words and with spoken words. And words really are just a bunch of grunts, sounds strung together in a way that you and I happen to both understand, or shapes that are shared with each other that you and I learn to understand. But I'm sure, I would hope, I imagine you've had some experience when you were trying to communicate with somebody, either written or verbally, and you had a different language, or maybe, right, what is the most common form of conflict with somebody? It's over miscommunication or misunderstanding. I'm using a word, I'm trying to express it in a way you don't understand, or maybe that meaning of the word is different from you. And so we have conflict because that word means one thing to you, it means something different to me. And only by learning, which is the socialization, what that word means to you, do I understand you. So in some ways you can talk about, even when you maybe date someone and you learn about their culture of their family, or you get married, Okay, social construction of self. We talked a little bit about that before, but what this basically means is my identity is determined or is crafted, is built on my relationship with other people for a whole variety of ways, because they reflect back to me, like Cooley said, because my identity as a daughter is determined by my social relationship with my parents, because I can only be a mother because I have children. So, in that sense, my identity, myself as a mother, is dependent upon my social relationship with my children, right? Somebody else. My relationship as a friend. I can only be a friend in relationship to other people who also consider me a friend. So in that way, me and my daughter, create my identity as mother. Me and my friends create my identity as a friend. Who I am is created because of my relationships with other people. And then finally, we get to nature versus nurture, and I put the little asterisk there because socialization is the nurture. Socialization is the way that we learn. The nature would be the biology, right? Would probably maybe even be the psychology, some of the way your brains are structured. Socialization is the nurture. It's the way that by interacting with people, I become something. And I think I'm going to stop this one right here.